Yeah, keep your head up. Don't stop. Don't give up. Keep your head up. Hold down. 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 Hold on. You gotta be strong. You gotta stand still. Don't you get weary. No doubt. Hold down. Keep your head up. Hold down. Things are gonna get better. You just gotta keep believing. Your days are gonna get brighter. You gotta keep on praising. Our God is here today. Always makes a way. Keep your head up. Hold down. Keep your head up. Hold down. Keep your head up. You gotta hold down. Keep your head up. Hold down. Don't you ever stop trying. You gotta keep on fighting. Hold on to what's in your faith. You gonna win this race. Keep your head up. Hold down. Keep your head up. Hold down. Don't you ever stop trying. Keep your head up. Keep your head up. Be strong. You gotta stand still. Don't you get weary. No doubt. Hold down. When triumphs come your way, you gotta hold out. What? You gotta hand around. Hold down. Never don't head up. You gotta hold down. Hold down. Triumph's got to go on. Keep your head up. When they turn it back on you, hold down. Hold down. Come on, man.
Let's thank them again. And do thank the band, my God. How blessed are we? Good to see Aaron here again this morning. Aaron, thank you for being here. Boy, we are so blessed. You know, we have more people in the choir than some people have in their church. And we ought to be thankful for that, right? And here's the thing. You look around this room, where else can you go and see this level of diversity? I'm thankful for that. We are living out our mission. It is not something that we aspire to do. It is something that we are doing. And I'm so thankful for that. I'm inspired this morning by the book Cult, a love story by Alexandra Amor. Now, I have admitted to you, I have confessed, I like to watch television. And if you've traveled 12 hours between San Francisco and Istanbul, I watched a lot of movies. But the thing is that my experience is that I'm always looking for the spiritual message that I see in all kinds of things, and including Absolution with Liam Neeson. I can always find a spiritual message. And in everything that I've seen lately, the thing that keeps coming to mind is the fact that there are people, including us, who seek to do good in the world, and there are people who seek to understand and want to know what God requires of us, and somehow we can get that so wrong. We can get it so wrong. What does the divine want from us? First and foremost of all, I said the divine wants from us for you to be you, because it is the divine that looks to seek to express itself in all of creation. So you are who you are because you are needed in creation, and you should value that. But how we answer the question of what does God require of us answers a lot of questions, and it impacts our politics, our relationships, and our behavior. Most people think when they are doing things, they are doing the will of God. However, I would suggest to you, the only thing you can do is evaluate the tree by its fruit. It doesn't make a difference that my name is Reverend Rick if I don't act like a minister. If you don't benefit from my ministry, my title means absolutely nothing. That's the difference. We look for the fruit. What is the outcome? What is the result of our experience of being in the world? So today, you're going to be a fruit inspector. Ernest Holmes writes that God is love and God only loves. And how do we get this thing wrong? So I was recently watching television. I was watching A Great Course. Does anybody else watch The Great Courses? Oh my God, I love The Great Courses. You can go to college and not take a test. It's the greatest thing in the world. So the title is Warping Reality, the Psychology of Cults. And in this, Alexandra, who was the author of this book, was interviewed. And I was fascinated with her story because her desire only was to do good in the world and to be led by the divine. That was her desire. But she ended up in a place that was not wholesome and healthy, and that should always be something that we consider. What is the fruit of the tree? So she spent 10 years in a cult in Vancouver, Canada. Canada has cults? Who would have thought? And mind you, the guru was a woman. This story is unbelievably atypical. And she talks about how she approached this and how she experienced 10 years of her life after entering this group at 21. It only started out going to participate in meditation, and in the end, she ended up being part of a cult. But we all have this strong desire to do good, to make a difference in life, to have a meaningful life, to make an impact for the world to know that has benefited by our experience. So Alexandra desired to love God, and this is how she found out how to do it. I think she would say it's a different story now, but this is her experience. So in Science of Mind and Spirit, we define love as love is the self-givingness of the divine through its desire to express itself in creation. This is why you are love. You are love because you are an expression of the divine in creation. And once you understand that, although I can give you advice and I can teach you and I can lead you, your encounter and experience of the divine is yours. It is not mediated by me. I am no guru. I do not want to mind your business. I do not want to tell you what to do. I can't imagine why in the world anyone would want to do that. The self-givingness of the divine. So you are love. You not only are loving, you are love. Ernest Holmes writes that love is this cosmic force whose pull is irresistible. And at the same time, it's the highest vibration in the universe. The opposite of love is what? Fear, not hate, fear. And often what people are operating in fear. They are not operating in love. In the light and vibration of love and light, all the darkness is dispelled. This is why I tell you every week, the world in which you live, you are the light of that world. Not somebody else, they got to do their own thing. But this is what we bring to the world. So unconditional love is always the thing that always works. And I define God as unconditional as well as uncontrolling love. So there's a parable that says that a tree is always known by its fruit. A good tree bears good fruit, and a bad tree bears bad fruit, and the opposite cannot happen. So therefore, you can identify people, and you can identify organizations, you can identify even principles, whether or not, what is the fruit of that position. So our spiritual principle today says the fruit identifies the tree. You don't know what the tree is until you see the fruit of the tree. Now, this is a metaphorical understanding that illustrates the fact that our outputs, the impact that we have on life, our actions, and the experiences that we have really do identify who we are. The thing that was so nice, the whole experience is, I will tell you, it took us 42 hours to get home from Athens. 42 hours. And there was a lot of issues associated with that. But you know what was so wonderful? In our group of close to 40 people, no one acted out. No one acted out. They didn't beat up anybody. We weren't on American soil. If we thought we could get away with it, we probably would have. But the question of integrity is who are you when no one is looking? How do you think about other people and other things? That's what shows who we are. That's the fruit of our experience. The fruit always identifies the tree. And what kind of tree are you? Are you bearing good fruit or rotten fruit? Now, the idea of a cult, the term originally just meant worship. So there was a cult, all kinds of cults. We look at it as a negative and pejorative kind of statement, but it wasn't always looked that way. We look at it now as individuals who take advantage of others, gangs, organized crime, all those kinds of issues, or particularly the damaging issues of spiritual abuse. So at 21, Alexandra joins this group. Now, she joins a group where their guru tells them who to date, who to marry, and you can blame somebody else though. I didn't choose you, the guru did. And in one situation that involved the author, the guru told this couple that they should get together and get married, and they did. And later, God said that the husband should have an affair with a woman in the group. And all three people participated in the experience because they thought the guru heard from God. You dispense being rational and just take the direction of a person who, in all honesty, the fruit of that circumstance is rotten. It's just rotten. Now, if you want to be in a triad relationship, that's purely up to you, but let it be your decision and the participants that are involved, not how these people did it only to please the guru. So there's this, she says, she was predisposed to being a part of such a group. She said she had an unhealthy need to belong and to have a purpose, and that she needed external validation. She always needed to be validated. You know, I see some people who always have to be seen. They can never go unnoticed. They always do something or say something to be seen. She had low self-esteem, and this low self-esteem isolated her away from other individuals. And so the guru and this crowd that she became a part of course, engulfed her and loved her and encouraged her till the point that she ended up living with them. She said it created a level of dependency, but she started out approaching life as to everything is either black or white. There's no gray. So therefore, when you typically think this way, you are looking for an answer. You just can't hold the question. See, a lot of what we do is hold the question. I don't have the answer to all things, but I hold the question, and you can question me. Not publicly, please, but you can. Because we are all free to do that. This is a freedom faith. There is nothing cultic about us, because the one thing that we encourage more than anything else is your individuality, to represent yourself and who and what you are, because I believe you are the face of God. So there was a study that was done where POWs, prisoners of war, who were in the Korean War were analyzed and assessed by a psychiatrist. And he said, these are some of the things that are the outcome of being in such a totalism kind of group. First of all, the issue of control. And I hope that you don't find any of these characteristics in our community. The environment needs to be isolated, and it needs to reject any interaction with people outside of it. You cannot have a question about it. You cannot question them, because it's 100% us versus them. There is some level of mystical manipulation. In other words, the guru has some special skill or ability by which to tell you what God wants, because you can't know on your own. That is not how it works up in here. God needs to talk to you. God doesn't need to talk to me to talk to you. And the same is true. God don't need to talk to you to talk to me. When somebody come up and say, God told me to tell you, I say, honey, save it. Save it. Because I'm not going to receive it unless God has already said it to me. Right? Unless it actually happens for me. There's a demand for purity. So she talks about being in situations where they would bring a person up, and the person would tell all of their dark secrets. You know those things that you're happy that there was no video? They would get up and expose themselves, saying that they were actually killing their ego. In one situation, they had a woman tell her story, and she was naked in front of a group that was clothed. Now that's public humiliation. You think I humiliate you? That is public humiliation. That she had to expose herself in a group of people. And you go, why would you do that? See, you have a mind that questions everything, right? You question everything. Does he know what he's talking about? Did he read the book? What does the book say? I'm going to go read the book and see, does it actually say that? There's always this level of scrutiny in our community, unlike communities that you just agree with me. Now, I want you to agree with me, honestly, but don't agree with me unless you really agree with me. Amen? Amen. That's right. So sacred science, and that is that always is a rationale in these kinds of groups of what is right and what is wrong. And it's irrational often. It just doesn't make sense, the kinds of things that and conclusions that they draw from their belief structure. They load the language. In other words, there's always this language that's separate and different from everyone else's. The thing in Science of Mind, particularly if you study become a practitioner, is we are all encouraged not to use science of mind jargon. A lot of terminology that is our particular jargon that you need a dictionary in the back of the Science of Mind textbook by which to understand. The challenge to all of us in testing is, can you explain science of mind to a 5-year-old? You should be able to explain what you believe to a 5-year-old. The idea of these groups is there is doctrine over people. In other words, people can be taken advantage of because you just have to follow the rules by the guru that are inconsistent one time to the next. And the other is, and the most important issue is, othering everyone else outside of the group. If you're not a part of our group, you are other. And if you are other, as she described them, they were dark energy. Dark energy. So what is the fruit of a healthy faith community? And I hope you find this description consistent with what we do here. It emphasizes personal consciousness. You get to make decisions about what you want to do, what you want to believe, and what you don't want to believe. It's perfectly fine. You have the freedom to ask questions and to inquire and challenge decisions that are made or challenge statements that are made by me. We have a respectful pluralism that we participate. We look for ways to be together. I was asked at a table, because we had family members who joined us in Greece that don't necessarily go to church here, but are related to some of the people who are on the trip. And, they said, well, what do you guys believe? I've never heard of it, right? And this is how I described it. We are a group of people, and they say, how do you do that? How do you have that level of diversity? How do you do that? The issue is we look for what is inclusive and what is common, not what distinguishes us from each other. That's the difference. Can you talk about love? Can you talk about joy? Can you talk about peace? And you can talk about it with all kinds of stories, and you can use any God's name that you so choose, but the principle remains the same regardless of the belief structure. And none of us have to agree with any of it if you don't want to. It's purely up to you. Relationships in the community are voluntary, and you can voluntarily leave. You are not held here against your will. That's what happens in a cult. You can't leave. Not only are they in your mind, they also very often have all of your resources as well. So you cannot make healthy decisions for yourself. Everyone here retains their autonomy. You choose what you want to participate in, what you want to do, what you want to give, what you want to believe, and what you don't want to believe. We develop our belief structure and we deal with it in the context of dialogue. We encourage critical thinking. I want you to challenge me. Where is Phil? Phil's in my class. Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. He always asks these very thought-provoking questions that I have to answer on the fly. And sometimes I go, I really wish I had recorded that because I think it was good. But because I can't prepare for the question, right? It's right on the dime. What does that mean, Reverend Rick? What does that mean? Why is that? And we encourage that. In a community that wants to control you, they don't encourage questions at all. Questions and questioning anything would say that you are having a lack of faith. So my question for all of us is this: what is the fruit that bears from CSA? What fruit are we putting out in the world? I believe it is one of critical thinking. I believe it invites questions and challenges. It means that we have more questions than we have answers at times, and there can always be a dissenting view. You don't have to necessarily agree. Everyone gets to determine what works for them. You take from science of mind what works for you and leave the rest. And hopefully, maybe you may need it in the future, maybe not. But it should work for you. It should bear fruit in your life that is beneficial. To go here and enjoy yourself and be a part of the community and not bear good fruit, it doesn't do the world any good. We may do ourselves individually good, but how do we change and improve the environment of the world? It is the fruit that we bring to the world. And I hope that is love and compassion and understanding and joy and peace. Those are the kinds of things people should say when we walk away, say, they are such a breath of fresh air. I feel better because I was in their presence. What do people say when we leave them? What fruit are you bearing? And so it is.